situation awareness.
Okay, well, given the known challenges of staffing the northern border, I look forward to working with you on the ways that we in Congress can help staff those hard-to-fill locations. Moving on, I'm deeply concerned about a memo that you issued on May 5th that revoked 4 CBP policies protecting vulnerable people in your custody, including seniors, pregnant women, and kids. One of the 4 policies that you revoked was on the processing of pregnant and postpartum non-citizens and infants. That policy is what keeps moms in custody healthy. It doesn't require anything fancy. In fact, I'm a nurse, and I can tell you it's really barely the basics. Things like a place to sit or lie down or an extra juice or snack for pregnant and breastfeeding moms. The only justification in your memo for revoking this policy was that it was, quote, either obsolete or misaligned with current agency guidance and immigration enforcement priorities. Now, of course, CBP is fundamentally not built for detention, but there are many situations where detention occurs, sometimes long-term, and it's critical that CBP have high standards in place to protect detainees and personnel. So tell me, what specifically about juice and seating for detained, pregnant, and breastfeeding moms is obsolete or misaligned with your current guidance and priorities?
Congressman, thank you for the question. So I would say that when we have 20,000 people in custody every single day, we have 15,000 people sitting underneath the bridge, and we have a couple of hundred large groups sitting in the desert, creating additional mechanisms to sort through those masses to ensure that we're taking care of the vulnerable became absolutely necessary as we sort through that population to make sure that we're expediting care and processing for those individuals that we have either in a facility or out on the border at some location. Today's numbers, we look at our custody numbers today, we have anywhere from 500 to 800 individuals in custody. We're seeing less than 300 a day come across our borders. So with those numbers, we can operationalize and ensure that we're not minimizing the care that we're taking care of those individuals in our custody. Because in that memo as well, I emphasize that the priority of taking care of individuals in our custody remains a priority for us.
Right.
So our ability to be able to get through, care for, and meet all the requirements of those in our custody based on 500 or 800 individuals being in our custody, right? We're able to meet those needs and be able to meet.
But Mr. Commissioner, you know, if you remove the standards of care that offer basic criteria for how to care for a vulnerable population like a pregnant person, and that would direct your agents and officers to offer that individual juice or snack or place to sit, if we are not issuing that as basic policy, then it might not happen. And so I appreciate that encounters are down, and that is a fantastic thing. That is something that this committee celebrates, in fact. But as you reaffirmed, you do have a baseline standard for caring for people in your custody. And so what I'm going to ask is that you commit to immediately reinstating this policy or a new one that reflects the current dynamic with lower levels of encounters that would have higher standards for pregnant and postpartum moms. Will you commit to that?
So I definitely take that back, Congresswoman, as we look through this. So what I would tell you is that when we do have 20,000 people in custody, it was difficult to find space to allow that to occur. So we had to prioritize that in order to allow that to occur, to find a place to sit, to get juice or snacks. And we're still doing the same thing. It's just we do not have the space limitations today in our facilities to find a place to allow someone to sit or to have juice or to have those snacks.
Mr. Chairman, you know, I think that this committee would be willing to find the resources to properly care for pregnant moms, postpartum moms, kids, elders that are in CBP's care. And I'm going to continue to impress upon the agency the urgency of reinstating this type of policy. It's not optional. And I yield back.
Thank you. We now go to the gentlelady from Iowa, which represents the home of the river buoy tender Wyaconda.
That is right, Mr.
For your questions for the acting commissioner. The floor is yours.
Yes, and thank you for hearing me out during our Coast Guard hearing yesterday about